Which ones do you like, Spoon?
I'm trying to get a list here going. So
Okay, let's go. Spoon, this is an activity you actually, I know you actually enjoy. Let's just get them in chronological order, look at the same list, and we just rate them, okay?
I'll join in on this.
And
then I'll go to bed.
as well.
I'll join in and go to bed after we've done this one.
Let's try not to get too deep into everyone, but just like rate them, knock it off. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Great.
Can I get
on the face of it, I expect my ratings to be fairly similar to Gronk. By the sound of what you've just said.
Well, we'll see. But do we go chronological order or published order?
Published.
Published order.
Published order.
Iron Man 1.
Oh,
great. Love it.
Cupe, your mic.
Oh, I thought it was a really good film. I think
okay, we're doing them this way. Okay, okay, Iron Man 1, great movie. Agreed. Complete. Any disagreements?
Can watch it again.
No. Yeah, I can watch it again. Incredible Hulk. Shit.
Which one was that?
That's the one with Edward Norton instead of before they replaced Mark Ruffalo. It's it's definitely forgettable. And the cool
scene with what's his face, the other guy,
Abomination.
That's cool.
I think
I disagree. I think that scene. I think it's cool, but I think that it's.
I like Abomination.
It's too bland. It's too bland of a scene, and there's like too much. They're focused in too much on details. When to display Hulk, you need to be zoomed out so you see how crazy it is when the fucking tank flies a kilometer when it hits, sort of. And I think the scene is too close. And also, did you remember?
I think it started off as a good film and just got progressively worse. I quite enjoyed the early part of him hiding in Brazil. I quite enjoyed.
Yes.
And as soon as. I'm not trying to be too
and I loved how they discovered
but
him as well, with the little blood drop and Stan Lee's cameo dying from the poor gamma ray. I loved it. Great
I think the first 45-ish minutes of the film was really good. I think as soon as he got back to America and that whole part of the storyline happened with him being on the run with his ex-girlfriend, blah, 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 it was just like, why is this turning into a love story? What is this shit all of a sudden? And the end was better than the middle, but the middle was I don't know. The middle was poor. So I'd say the start was great, the middle was poor, and the end was average.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter, and like the bad guy they set up in the end of the movie. Do you even remember him?
The big fucker.
Abomination.
No. They set up a different.
Red Hulk.
No. Different one.
What?
Yeah, see, you don't even remember. I'm not even. Let's not get into it. They set up a different bad guy at the end of Hulk that never gets explored past that. Anyways, Iron Man 2. Wait, that's there's a cool. Okay,
electrical whip.
Electrical whip. I'll give this one.
I'd say good. I wouldn't say it's as great as the first one, but I'd say good. I think it's a good film.
I think it's above average, even though it has problems.
I'm gonna give it a meh.
Meh. Yeah, I get why you give it a meh. I could be a meh on any day as well. But just today, I feel like I remember, like you remember that one-off scene when he just spins the fight like that. That's enough to make.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 6 to 6.5 out of 10. Where I would have gave Iron Man 1 an 8. I would have given Iron Man 1 an 8 out of 10.
Yes, I completely agree. 8 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10 on Iron Man 2. Something like that.
I'd have probably gone 4.5 on Hulk, slightly higher, but not much.
Yeah, something like that. Thor, though, the first one, I enjoyed that movie. But you would say meh. Yeah, like, look, Thor is one of those movies that I feel sort of like Xena, Warrior Princess when I watch. Like, I know some of this is shit that I'm watching, but I fucking enjoy it. I fucking enjoy the first Thor movie. Like when he smashes another boom, and when he like, I need a steed, when he goes into the pet shop and tries to buy a horse and stuff like that. I love that part enough to bump it up to an enjoyable thing, but it's also meh at the same time, and I agree. Like the story is boring.
I would say I enjoyed it about as much as Iron Man 2. I'd probably give it the same score, about a 6.5. There were certain parts about the whole storyline on Earth which just I kind of got bored of watching him trying to work out what Earth was bit, mostly because I know what Earth is. I don't know, it was
so far we have one movie that's good, Iron Man.
Yes, hold on, but here we go though. Captain America First Avenger. Absolutely not. Cupe,
you didn't like it? Oh, that's interesting.
No, it's not interesting. I knew he didn't like it.
I think it's a great film.
Fucking hate Captain America.
Yeah, see, this is so funny. This is interesting. Why the fuck would you hate Captain America?
He's so pointless.
He's not pointless at all. Why is he pointless? Can you tell me one reason?
here's a guy. We inject him with some chemicals that give him generic superpowers. Yay!
No, he's a man lost
him.
out of his time. It's interesting. He doesn't get it, and then he's thrown into these
Red
weird.
Skull is cool though.
He gets thrown into these weird conflicts because of his past. He has a different standpoint of more like truth and justice and liberty and fucking for everyone and do this and sacrifice and throw yourself on the bar.
But do they portray that in the movie?
Yes,
No.
well and beyond.
He
was backing up Bucky because of the fucking streets they grew up on as his fucking brother-in-laws forever. It doesn't matter. He's fucking blowing up the king of Wakanda in everyone else's eye, and he's like, I believe in you, I stand up for you. And he also the conflict with the Sokovia Accords is based around it, so they display it a lot. I think I love him, but I don't love Captain America First Avenger. I think it's an average
Captain
movie.
America,
I was kind of
Avenger.
Captain
Bad. Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
One of the greatest movies ever. No,
I like it.
This is funny actually, because me and my brother were in the same conversation last week on the way back from Captain Marvel, and we both agreed out of all of like the individual films in the Marvel series that Captain America is the one that got better as the films went on. Yes. Well, Iron Man, in my opinion, Iron Man 1 was the best, 2 was the next best, and 3 was the worst. And Captain America went the opposite way.
Completely agree. Both
I think Captain America Civil War was the best Captain America, and Winter Soldier was the second best one. They went the opposite somehow.
We'll get to it. But we're done with the first one, yeah?
Yep.
So we're at Avengers. I love this movie. Joss Whedon is a hero.
What the hell?
Avengers,
the one with the battle in New York at the end.
Loki comes with Chitauri to New York, and
that was good.
That's a good movie.
For me, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I'd give it even higher than Iron Man 1. I think it was the first time I watched that film, I came out the cinema and all I wanted to do was go and buy a new ticket and go and watch the next one.
Yeah, dude. Me and my brother came out shaking. We're grown-up people. He has kids, right? We're like adults. We came out shaking. Had to sit down and grab a beer each just to like, calm down. Like just sit at the... I love it. I love it.
So...
And first appearance of Thanos.
2 out of 6 movies are good.
Oh, no, because we
both said
America's good movie. 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's a good score.
They have to be that for me to watch them again.
Okay, so 8 is the cutoff. I agree. 8 is the cutoff. Yes, we have 2 out of 6 movies are 8 plus.
I mean,
that's pretty fucking good for superhero movies.
I would watch Iron Man first one again to entertain myself. I would not watch Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, First Avenger, but I would watch Marvel's The Avengers
I
again.
have watched all of these again and again to entertain myself, including Hulk. I've probably seen Hulk 4 times.
Yeah, I've watched them all again, but what you're saying of what you would choose to watch, like if you're going through your film collection, I'd watch Captain America First Avenger on occasion too.
Yeah, same.
I'd probably say 3 out of the 6 I'd class as watch again.
Let's move on though. Iron Man 3, one of those movies that when you rewatch it, it grows a little bit on you. At least it did for me. It gets
I
a little
really
bit
wish
better.
the old guy was the Mandarin.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, I think
they blew that movie.
Yeah, and
I think the first half of it was great, and the second half was why did they make these decisions?
Yes,
because everyone who knows Mandarin is like sitting on the edge of the seat, like,
shit's about to get real, like,
and
holy
it's
shit.
not even there.
No, it's not even. It's a thing. But then again, like, I get why they didn't do him like he is in the original comics, right? I get that. Like, they couldn't do Feng Chong Ching Chang Chong with power rings wizard.
Yeah.
Like, they can't do that in this year, and it wouldn't work. They could do some variation that would work, like, obviously, but I'm happy they didn't do it that way, and I understand why you would steer away from the original, like, character. But that's that turn into that Kirgan, and also that's actor.
It was a pointless twist, wasn't it? Though?
Yeah,
it was pointless. We were happy with the audience was happy with him being the Mandarin, and then they suddenly made him an actor, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
why? It didn't make sense.
And the supplement they threw in wasn't good enough.
No,
like some fire guys. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's from the comic books, though, from later storylines, right? But that's also just like when you guys were discussing Aquaman when I was out. Or away. The problem with Iron Man 3 is that they're smashing in too many storylines. Because the fleshed out storyline about the pointless fire guys is a fucking cool story from the comics. Like Mandarin, like, you could make any variety of fucking cool story based off of if they just kept going with the first half of the movie, like into the end, it would have been great, right?
What would you give it as a 10? I'd probably give it a 6. And that's only because I like the first half of the film.
First time I watched it, I gave it probably... If I was honest, I would probably have said a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, I came out of it disappointed the first time. I think I like it a bit more. I agree with you, it's a bit better. Somewhere between a 5 and a 6 would be my rating, but I'd probably go to a 6.
A 6
I really like the first half
stretch. Say it, what do you give it, a 1 or 2?
A bad out of 10.
A bad out of 10. Okay, a bad out of 10. Let's move on.
Alright, so what are you
Thor,
saying,
The Dark World 2000... What I said on Iron Man?
You said 5 out of 10 for 3, you'd say.
4 or 5. Like it's still not.
We'll go with 5.
It's not. With Thor: The Dark World though.
Love it.
You love? Yeah. Oh, that's so funny because I think that's the weakest Thor movie.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. I know you would, right?
I love Malekith and I love his guy.
I get it. I totally get it. I still think this it's weaker for me emotionally than the first Thor movie is, but it's a better movie than the first Thor movie is. Does that make sense? I don't connect with it. I get it looks better, it's better written, better. I get it, but I'm not connecting with it as much for some reason.
I'd say it's slightly ahead of the first one for me. Like I gave the first one a 6.5 out of 10. I'd probably give The Dark World a 7 out of 10. It's slightly ahead, but not much. But I think I liked it more just because it wasn't on Earth and I was learning new things about this universe rather than learning something about a world I was already aware of. And
Can someone bring up the most important thing from this movie though?
Thor: The Dark World?
Yes. Naked Dr. Selvig.
Well, you brought it up, so...
No, wait, that's not from the Thor: The Dark World. That's from... Wait, that's what the result... That's in Thor Ragnarok, right? He's running around naked. No, what? He's on the TV? In what movie is he on the TV running around naked?
I don't even know what you're on about at the moment.
Dr. Selvig naked. Thor: The Dark World. See? This is the scene.
Shortly after 11 a.m. this morning, after a seemingly harmless...
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're on about. Yeah.
Thor,
but no, I thought it was a real good film.
Yeah.
I think it ended quite strongly as well. I think it was slightly ahead of Thor because there was a part in the middle of Thor where I was like, all right, can we get on to the end of the film now? I'm a bit bored of watching this whole part of this girl and
yeah, but you loved it. Say it. Can you describe more?
I think it's like they introduced the sworn enemies of the Asgards, like the Black Elves, Night Elves, whatever they call. And Malekith is Malekith is like a badass there, so he's like the main villain for the Asgardians to fight against.
Yeah, and also I'm also tainted with Thor: The Dark World because they made a big deal out of this in the game Marvel Heroes. So Curse had Gem of the Curse, which was like you had to grind this fucking Thor: The Dark World dungeon over and over and over again for the rest of your life, unless you were Relic and you got the drop the first time you walked in.
Well, of course.
Then we have the best Captain America movie, Captain America: Winter Soldier, 2014. Yes. In my opinion, better than Civil War. As a movie, but Civil War gives more emotion.
Yeah,
but
I think
as a movie, Winter Soldier is the best movie. Oh my god, I love this film.
I'd give it an 8.5.
Dude, it's higher for me. This is 9.5, like 9.5. I love this movie because I came out of that theater almost. I'm honest now, almost crying of joy because, like, finally I knew people would see what I have seen in comic books ever since I was a kid. Just because it's a fucking superhero thing doesn't mean it has to be a child story. Like, you don't have to even, like, because Thor 1, okay, Thor: The Dark World, they go a little bit darker, right? But like Thor 1 is very colorful, Captain America 1 colorful, Avengers 1 colorful, like they're all colorful and like cookie cutter superhero movies. And then you have Winter Soldier, which is like a commentary on the surveillance machine that is the security agencies in the world right now through this lens of, like, it's a Bourne movie. It's great. I love Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
I don't know what ratings they actually gave them, but I know what you mean. Like I would say that Captain America, the first Avengers, probably feels more like a PG, maybe like a 12, where Winter Soldier feels more like a 15. It was wrote for an audience.
Yes.
And to me, it felt like it was wrote for the audience that was 11 when they watched Captain America. And now they're 4 years older. They can watch this or something.
Yeah.
No, it was a really. I think the whole storyline was just. It was one of those films where you don't come out going, I wouldn't have changed that. That was just great.
Spoon?
Yes, it's good.
It's good, right?
Well, our overall score seems to be a 9 out of 10 for that.
9, yeah. Fuck yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
No. You've got that entirely wrong, Gronk. Somehow, Guardians of the Galaxy put it up to 11.
That might actually be true. James Gunn is a genius. Everything is great. Everything is like. Is there anything to complain about in this movie? Can you? Okay, what's the one pet peeve? One thing you get annoyed by in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 from 2014?
I got nothing, mate.
Nope. Nothing.
Well, okay. Honestly, first time I saw the dance off in the end, I was a little bit really. Are you going with dance off as the way? Like I was a little bit scuffed because I've read there's some cool things he does in the Groot can do a lot of cool things. Let's just leave it at that. And Rocket is a bit unexplored as well, I must say, in the movies.
My only
they could have been more like tactical little robots coming in, or bigger guns, or there could have been fucking he can do things with pollen and leaves flying around and magic almost with his tree powers, right? But then again, it was the first time he's in the movie, so like to the point of Aquaman, if Groot suddenly had grown to size 250 meters and shot pollen over the planet and mind controlled people would have been even more confused.
Yeah, no, I think it was a great film.
Yeah.
My only complaint I can make at Guardians of the Galaxy is Baby Groot wasn't in it, because my God, he's so cute.
He's super good. But did you see that James Gunn is back to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, by the way?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, he got fired. Did you hear the full story there?
No.
So he gets fired because of tweets he did in like 2008, like pedophilia joke tweets, right? And Disney has like a zero tolerance fucking, like, if you have any dirt in your old, they just throw you out. Like, and they found it in the, like, we can't make an exception, sorry. Yeah, we know you're gonna make us billions and billions of dollars, but so bye. Like, and then back and forth, whatever, he apologizes in a pretty good, nice way, and like does the right things and blah, 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 and now he's back. But them taking him back is also backed up, or like coincides with Disney on their, like, on the promotional material for or websites and such for their new streaming service, because Disney is coming with their own thing. They now own 66% of Hulu because they bought Fox, right? And they have now, they own the.
It's amazing how much Disney's taken over the world in the last 10 years.
Dude, I think the number is like they literally own over 1/3 of all media being produced in the world, or all entertainment being produced in the world. There's something ridiculous like that. They're just so massive. It's stupid.
But 10 years ago, they didn't own Fox. They didn't own Lucas.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
They just keep growing. But the point I was getting to, the rehiring of James Gunn sort of coincides with the website for that streaming service having Deadpool front and center as one of the, like, come and look at me. And Deadpool, the two movies that have been out so far are not really PG-13, if you put it like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, they're 15 if you're being kind.
Yeah.
they're 18, frankly.
And like, hopefully these are signals like that the ridiculous amount of, like, political correctness levels that we've seen are kind of over a little bit. Like, you can be forgiven if you're a nice guy. You had a couple of bad jokes 10 years ago on Twitter, you don't lose your job at least anymore, you know?
Yeah, that should be okay. Yeah, I've made terrible jokes.
Yeah, me too.
And I've made terrible jokes and generally gone, oh, yeah,
I made one today.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, no, and we'll keep doing that. That's fine. But we're just human, right? But yeah, whatever. I like that. And Ryan Reynolds, but that's cool. Here we go, though. Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron.
Scarlet Witch,
Disappointing ending.
Quicksilver dies.
Quicksilver can die any day.
Wow. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first Avengers. The first Avengers was like a 9. I came out with like shivering almost at how badass that was.
I mean, Ultron
7.5
is
maybe?
more badass than he is in the movie.
Well, one thing this movie has going for it is that it generated one of the worst jokes ever, which is Captain America's shield is made out of vibranium. Hawkeye's shield is made out of quicksilver.
Yeah, what do you reckon? I'd say 7.5. I did really like the film. You know, I think maybe 7.5, somewhere in that ballpark. I mean, I'd say I'd like it as much as, say, Captain America: First Avenger, or I'd put it in that kind of ballpark.
Yeah, James Spader is brilliant, but that's not enough to carry.
You guys are crazy. 8 out of 10. There's a Hulk buster in the movie. What else do you want in life?
I said 7.5, and you said I'm crazy.
No, okay, Spoon is okay.
Ant-Man though. Is so bad.
Yeah, I get. What is it about the ending you don't like, Spoon? I should have, instead of assuming that I know you.
So complicated, like lifting a town. Fuck.
Oh, you mean like that? Or the end?
Just
that.
Throw a nuke or do something innovative. Like,
dude. Yes. No, but like it would have been. Yeah, I completely agree. It's so convoluted a way of killing up. Like there's so many easier ways of killing stuff. If he's supposed
an AI.
Exactly. If he's smart, he's like, oh, I'll just fucking nuke them. Like, oh, I don't have. No, I have to collect the vibranium so I can pick them up in the air and like, fuck you. It's too much. Too much. I agree. Ant-Man.
Could destroy like the banking system, so there was riots all over the world because nobody had any money. You could just burn everything.
He could literally hack every hospital to always give the wrong medicine to everyone all the time, always, if he wanted. You know what I mean? That's more diabolical.
Let him lift a big rock and throw it down again.
Yeah.
It did seem like a very primitive way for something that's meant to be that intelligent to fight.
Exactly. But that's also a fucking comment on the humanity in Ultron, right? That he is like the reflection of the bad side of the humanity, and actually like this is how like a very... It's a rock, I'm gonna smash it. It doesn't get more like Neanderthal and basic human of the bad side of him. Like, and Vision is the polar opposite, like the very basic of the good thing in us, and blah, blah, like I get it, but fuck you. Ant-Man.
I don't remember it.
I don't mean fuck you, Cupe. I meant fuck the person who wrote it. You don't remember the first Ant-Man?
No, I remember Ant-Man. I think of what I'd give it.
I agree, it's forgettable. I think it's an average movie. It's sort of funny, but it's like okay. And honestly, I can say what I think it kind of
got a bit too. It took a bit too long to get to the punch of the movie as well.
Yeah, and it's all about Paul Rudd is cute, and we get it.
I cannot recollect what the hell that movie was about.
Okay, story is
5.5 or 6.
He's been in prison for a crime where he like stole money from an evil corporate boss and gave it back to everyone who he had stolen from their pensions.
My point is I can't remember it.
Yeah, okay.
So that's my...
Okay.
If you can't remember it, it's because he never went back to rewatch it.
But here we go, though. Now
so what we said, I'm not putting the the scores down on this. I gave it a 5.5ish.
I give it a 4.5ish.
I give it. I can't remember it.
Well, that puts us as a 5 between us and average of a 5. So.
Yeah, but it's forgettable. I agree. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Captain America Civil War, though, you don't forget that one. You don't forget Spider-Man's eyes. You don't forget fucking Black Panther. You don't forget when they're running along the traffic. You don't forget the only thing
that bothered me about Civil War was that the reasoning why they like divided was so crappy. I can't remember what it was.
No, but yeah, that's the thing.
It's all to sign the contract.
Here's the thing. Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense if you rewatch the movies you don't want to rewatch, like Iron Man 3, and like you see how he like gets affected by his damages from New York, like how much Avengers actually affected Iron Man, how much he got torn to bits mentally watching the space armada holding the fucking nuke, the like it's fate of everything. And like when you rewatch them and you start to notice these tendencies that shift in Tony Stark, like he shivers more and he's like hurt more, he's more defensive and jittery, and like the longer the movies go on, and like then it starts to make more sense. But the problem is you don't have that in the movie. I get that.
Yeah.
Like I get what you're saying.
The movie itself doesn't explain that.
Exactly.
You need to watch the previous things to know.
Exactly. It's
No,
like
the reason was stupider.
no, the reason is brilliant. The reason is perfect, dead on. It's literally, are we supposed to let nukes walk around on the streets, yes or no? And Tony Stark feels they need to be kept in check because they sort of was causing all these things to happen.
I get that, but in the movie, they like play it out as like a misunderstanding or something, and all because I remember thinking, I mean, can't you have a like discussion and resolve this? You can just call each other and talk to each other. And
but the reason they're not gonna have that is because the political agenda is being pushed by Hydra agents and other forces that wants this world to be have this control of the superpowers, right? So it's like, yes, I hear what you're saying, and obviously that could have happened, but there's other things going on as well if you pay attention again, to like there's other stuff going around.
I'd probably give it the same that I gave Winter Soldier. It was 8.5.
Yet again, to finish off that, to close that, like, yet again, back to the original point, it's not explained in the movie. It's like...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I agree with Safe in some regards, and I think the first half an hour of the film's the weak part of the film. I think after that it was just an amazing film. Some of the battle sequences, some of the introducing Black Panther. I think after the first half an hour it was one of the best films, but the first half an hour just feel a bit kind of like them setting up the rest of the film did feel a bit weak. But the rest of the film was ridiculously good.
The ending is great though. The ending's one of the best endings of any of the any of the Marvel films.
No, the next movie has the best ending.
Doctor Strange? Yeah.
Yes.
Doctor Strange has an amazing ending. But what do we close Captain America Civil War though? I say 9.
Okay. I gave it 8.5, maybe a 9.
Yeah. I
can
fucking go 9. I love because there's something to seeing Peter Parker Spider-Man. It's not a Sam Raimi. It's not that's Spider-Man. If you tell me anything else, then fuck your mom.
But the reason the thing that I always like about Spider-Man's is Spider-Man's need to be a good Peter Parker.
Yes.
Like that one, the one we had where we had Emma Stone in the other character.
Andrew Garfield, amazing.
Yeah, he was
Spider-Man.
he was an amazing Spider-Man, but the worst Peter Parker ever. He's far too cool to be Peter Parker.
Yeah, great Spider-Man, terrible Peter Parker.
Yeah,
agreed.
And like this guy, I like him because he's believable as a Spider-Man. He's a little geeky kid,
But the amazing Spider-Man that's presented in the movies.
Alarm, that's so cool.
And Spoon, you read the Ultimate Universe a little bit, right? Okay, basically, Amazing Spider-Man, like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, that version of Peter Parker who skates and blah 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 is like straight from the first few issues of the Ultimate comics. And the Ultimate comics are the ones that kinda like are mainly the inspiration to the MCU's plot. Like even in terms of like in the Ultimate comics they introduced Nick Fury as a Afro-American character instead of a white Caucasian character, and they even draw him like Samuel L. Jackson in the first comics. Have you seen that shit? Yeah, it's quite amazing. But 9 out of 10 Civil War. Then we have Doctor Strange. That's a great ending as well. So
best ending.
So we've got
thought it through.
The Captain America First Avengers are 7, and the other 2 are both 9s, by the way, of the Captain America films. So far, it's got the best scores out of any of the individual films overall. Even though Safe hates Captain America as a character.
I do.
Guardians of the Galaxy, actually, but we've only scored one of them.
Sorry. So Doctor Strange. We're still on Doctor Strange. Oh, I fucking love it. I love it. I think they did a great job with it. I was so worried that we're gonna make this bad.
It'd be an easy film to make bad, to be fair.
My only complaint of Doctor Strange is it's too much spinning when they do the portals. That's it.
Is that really the only yeah, that, well, I don't even have that.
You don't
complaint.
like the animation for the portal spawning, you mean?
No, I don't like the spinning thing that they do with the fingers or hands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You didn't watch Naruto then? You don't think it's cool with hand signals?
No.
You weren't in the scouts, you don't... Oh, okay. But yeah, that's yeah, Doctor Strange is also a 9 out of 10 for me. I love that movie. Like, obviously this is what my biased fucking I love the comic books filter, right? So it's always gonna be a bit wonky.
And I think it got better as it got on. Like, if the first half of Doctor Strange, I'd probably say is an 8, but the second half, including the best ending, is a 10. That's I think the last kind of 30-40 minutes of the film is just in fact, to be fair, the first time I watched it was at cinema, but the first time I watched it when I got it on DVD or Blu-ray, like, 8 months later, is I watched the entire film and then rewinded and watched the last 30 minutes again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, so everyone loved that. That's interesting, actually. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, though.
I almost have to say I need to sit out of this conversation because I'm extremely biased, and I'd give it a 30 just because of Baby Groot.
A 30 out of
just
10.
Because of Baby Groot gets a 30. The rest of the film, we'll talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
Spoon.
It's a piece of shit.
What? Oh, I knew it.
I think the whole ego story was a bit odd.
Yeah, but Guardians of the Galaxy isn't really supposed to be.
With the scavengers, with the
Sylvester Stallone,
with the Ravagers and
and what's his face, the
and the Sovereign
stuff. What's his name?
Yeah, the whistle guy captured. That's kind of fun. The main
Yondu,
plot,
right?
Yondu, yeah.
The main plot is absolute shit.
Why is it shit?
Arrive at a planet and then we just chill out here. Oh, and he was a bad guy, and let's fight him in an arbitrary way. Okay, movie's over. Great.
What do you think of his method of doing it though?
Placing a big bomb inside him.
No, but I mean, like the bad guy's plan, like his method is like seeded out, planted out, blah blah blah. I think that part's kind of cool, like all that part. Yeah, okay, then I agree. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Then I agree. It's that the rhythm of it is weird. That they sort of be like, oh, we end up here like a friendly. Oh, he's a bad guy. What a surprise! Let's fight him. Boom. I get
all the side stories with what's
Gamora
and the Nebula being sisters
Nebula?
story
Good.
pretty
Side
good.
Story?
Yeah.
I'd go as far as saying all the side stories it was as good as the first.
Yep. Main story.
There's the first Guardian of the Galaxy. I'd go like all the side stories are a 10. Like, and let's be fair, that opening sequence of Baby Groot dancing around while they're fighting that big beast that kind of teleported him was just, that's the best intro to a film of all time.
Don't fucking sleep on Peter Quill dancing around in a fucking cave to music, like setting the tone for the.
Unfortunately,
like, this is something new.
The Guardians of the Galaxy 1 tops.
Yeah, like I think that's better than Baby Groot as an entrance. Like the first entrance in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, that sets and also like just the way when he puts the Guardians of the Galaxy text, it's like he's like a tiny thing at the bottom. That was the first time I saw that in a movie. I think, and I reflected on it, and it just set a different vibe to everything than anything I've ever seen before.
The Guardians of the Galaxy, both films for me are just I've watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1 at least 10 times, and Guardians of the Galaxy. To be fair, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think the best way I can describe it is I've watched certain parts of it 100 times and other parts of it not that much.
Yeah.
Like I say, if I'm just having lunch and it's going to be 30 minutes, I'll quite happily put Guardians of the Galaxy on starting at about the hour mark when they're on that ship and Baby Groot's doing his little thing, kind of going from here to there, and then I'll watch the end scene a bit.
Yeah.
But there's certain parts of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, with a bit of the ego storyline, I'm quite happy to skip because it just doesn't make that much sense.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. But it's still 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 almost. 10 out of 10.
The whole main story is a piece of shit.
But as a movie, I've seen it 5 or 6 times still. Like that's gotta be a good movie. It's still, because if you see it more times, then you get it a little bit more and you accept it a little bit, but it's also a little bit that, right? Some people grow on you the more you watch them, and some people the second time you watch them you go like, fuck this, why did I enjoy this at all, you know? Like Guardians of the Galaxy grew on me as well, like most of these do.
I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy changed any time I watched it for me, but I just still got a bit of a hang up on the Ego character. I think they could have. I don't mind Ego being a character. I think they could have done it in a bit of, especially the middle part of the film, in a bit of a different way.
Honestly, you wanna know my biggest disappointment? I'm gonna go pretty heavy nerd now, but my biggest disappointment with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is also the Ego story of this thing, but not for that reason. The reason I have is that it's not the dad from the comic books, because the dad from the comic books would have been a so good segue into what they're now doing through Captain Marvel, which is introducing the Skrulls and that there are factions at war in space, and like there is a cosmic, like, actual universe in Marvel. That honestly, I've never really liked that part of the Marvel comics that much, to be honest, because they have the same problem. A lot of the characters there, like Adam Warlock and the Captain Marvel and fucking Nova and all these space guys that we're probably gonna see movies coming into the next coming years, right? But all these guys, they're so powerful that I can't relate to what's happening. It's the same thing with Superman. Like, I don't care that you blew up 500 spaceships, but I do care when Daredevil saves someone's grandma from being shot by the bank robber. Yeah. So, like, it's this, you get it. But yeah, everyone loves Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Then we have Spider-Man Homecoming.
Quickly on Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the only thing I'd have to say with the Ego thing to explain why I get a bit of a hang up on it. Like, you get that part where he turns up and he doesn't really trust him that much. And it feels like it's going to take a long time to win him over. And then they just seem to have this one little conversation where he shows him how to use his magic hands. They play a bit of magic catch, and all of a sudden he's his dad. And that part is the part that I get a massive hang up over. It's like, up until now, you're portraying him as this character. You're not sure if you should trust him because he hasn't been there all your life. Yeah. You've just had a 10-minute conversation and he's your dad. And then you have an argument with Garona kind of defending him. And it's just like, how did we go from this to that in an hour? It's like in an hour of like what it feels like in terms of like 10 minutes in film time, like an hour in real time, so to speak. It's just, part just always irks me. It just doesn't make any sense.
No.
Why,
give me one chance. Can I link YouTube video? It will make your night. A guy called Freefall Gaming Army wrote that in my chat. Should I accept that, Cupe and Saith?
No, we're busy.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Freefall Gaming guy Army. We are busy. We can do it another time. Okay, Spider-Man Homecoming.
I liked it.
He said please now though.
Please, bro. Honestly, the only reason I'm gonna say no is that I don't know how to approve it, and I don't have any moderators here. That's the only reason, Bran. It will only take a minute. Okay, shoot. Hit me up.
Brand the builder. He built
we can keep talking about Homecoming, and I will try to figure that out on the side. We'll do it.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
The thing I like with Homecoming is that it's pretty much the first Marvel movie where they like keep the villain alive. Like he defeats the villain, but the villain just goes into hibernation. Like
he's in the cage now, and also. What I love, obviously, is that he's going into the cage and he's meeting Scorpion and the other characters from Sinister Six, you know, like from the same squad, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I like it. Spider-Man.
I like the film, and I'd give it a bonus point just because anytime they make a Spider-Man film, I want a good Spider-Man and a good Peter Parker, and they nailed it. I love the character who's playing Spider-Man. I think he does a really good job of both roles.
Yep.
And in other Spider-Man films, that's not the case.
Yep.
I love this movie. But the one thing I don't really like is that it's also like just a pet peeve because I'm a comic purist. So, like I enjoy it when they stay as true to the comics as possible. Marvel manages to get away with a lot of changes because they're still true in spirit to what happened. So like it's still like the correct thing for the character sort of most of the time, not always. Like Iron Man 3 is not correct, we all know that, right? But in this case, like having they're putting on that Robert Downey Jr. because he's this superstar carrying this entire universe on his shoulders in everyone's eyes. They like force their main IP onto like a son and father relationship with this character that just doesn't really take place in the comic books. It's apparent, like they sync it well with the storyline in the comic books, like the overarching storyline, because at the time of Civil War, Peter Parker and Tony Stark has this like relationship, and it actually in the comic books it ends up with Peter Parker disclosing to the entire world that it had Peter Parker Spider-Man, ruining 50 years of canon where he's always been hiding this thing, and this in Civil War he reveals it. Later they revert that, and it's just a mess. But if you're gonna introduce Spider-Man, don't introduce him with daddy issues to Tony Stark, please.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do I need that? Because honestly, if this person would, bind to daddy issues Tony Stark, then he would want to be a playboy just like daddy, right? And I don't want to see that from Spider-Man, because I want to see Peter Parker.
Yeah, if you're gonna adopt anyone as your looking up to being a father figure, it shouldn't be Tony Stark.
Exactly.
What would you say as I'd probably give it an 8.5.
On which one?
Spider-Man.
Oh, we're not done with the point scoring.
Yeah, I like it. I like it out of 10.
You like it out of 10? Oh, that's cool. You like it out of 10. I'll go with a strong 7.
You give a 7. Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite a big difference to my 8.5.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But that's,
what would you say out of 10 to give us a score? So
I like it out of 10.
Yeah,
right, so
I agree. Like,
if I give it an 8, will you be happy? So
I mean,
no,
these numbers doesn't
Cupe.
represent anything.
They don't matter. The Cupe, it's only you that need the number, because your brain is more I need the number than our brains are. We can let it go brain. There. I can let it go with I like it out of 10. I'm done. I'm nice with that, We're just different.
I have a mathematical brain.
Yeah, I
Deal
know.
with it.
Yeah, I know. You need the number. I get it. We're just different. It's fine. But
Ragnarok's next, is it?
Yes, Thor Ragnarok, one of my favorite movies of all fucking time. 10 out of 10 if you argue with me on this.
Probably the second most entertaining movie in the Marvel universe.
Wow, that's quite praise.
That's a strong statement from Spoon right out of the gate.
Just after Guardians of the Galaxy is what you're putting it then.
Yeah. I love Thor Ragnarok.
I love Thor Ragnarok. It's so much fun.
I just love. Do you want to get on this spaceship with us? I love that. Yeah,
Taika Waititi, the director's voice in that rock guy. But with Thor Ragnarok, on top of it being a great entertainment movie, also this was the first real date I had with my current girlfriend. Was Thor Ragnarok in the movies?
Oh, okay. So that gets a bonus point for that as well.
It gets emotional bonus points for that.
I think it was the best Thor film by a long way. As I said to you at the start, Thor was one of Thor and Captain America, the ones that I think got better as they went on, especially Thor. Like I think we gave Thor 1 a 6.5, Thor: The Dark World a 7. I'd give Ragnarok a 9.
Yeah, and
I think it was
also
a really fun film.
And also, like, if you're putting together the Hulk stuff from Avengers into Avengers Civil War into Thor Ragnarok into Infinity War, like you have like a proper Hulk storyline here now.
Yeah, well, frankly, the Hulk storyline in Thor Ragnarok's better than the Hulk movie.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. 1,000% agreed. Because notice now, and that's the fucked up part, right? Hulk is so unforgettable that it's an MCU movie, that it's actually canon to this story. That now when I said Hulk from Avengers has a storyline, I didn't even think about that there's a Hulk movie. I literally didn't process it, and we just talked about it a couple of minutes ago.
And it doesn't have a generic ending. Like open a portal,
Who
defeat the bad
doesn't
guy.
wanna-
Do you mean Thor Ragnarok? No, exactly. Yeah. Oh my
Who
god.
doesn't want a
The
10
bad
minute
guy
scene of
wins and destroys
The bad guy
Asgard.
wins, and to top it off, they finish with a last shot of fucking Thanos ship looming over this
Yeah, it was a
arc thing that they've built for Asgard.
It was a film with overall. It was a great ending, but like a negative ending in terms of the storyline arc, which started setting up some of the films after it. It was a quality film. The whole thing where the big fire dude comes out of the planet and starts killing everything, and it's so great.
Surtur, the fire.
His sister, who was the main antagonist, Hela was just crazy. It was a really good casting, really good. Very few things. It's a 9 or a 9.5. I mean, it was such a good film.
Dude, this is a 10 out of 10 for me any day of the week. This is the spoon is on. Like this is so fucking entertaining. You cannot watch this and not be entertained. I
think this
insane.
is the only movie that I watch just to be entertained.
Yeah, I rewatched it just a few days ago. Just to be entertained. Huh?
Who does? Well, it's like the line in Gladiator. Are you not entertained? I want to watch a freaking Gladiator sequence between the Hulk and Thor over and over again. Why not? I love that sequence.
Yeah.
The whole fight was amazing.
And like they stay true to the villain. Like she is badass, so she just destroys Asgard.
Yeah. There you go. And then Surtur, he is also super badass, and he wins if you do this. And also, this is obviously this goes without saying, but also in the greater grand scheme of things, this is one of the most important movies for
for the overall
story. Because
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Odin,
I think
Jeff Goldblum is great, but I mean, Odin is dead, Asgard is down, the Vikings can't, or the Asgardians can't protect everyone. Thanos can do his thing.
Yeah, and that was a big thing.
If Odin is up and running, you can't do that. Odin is so mega powerful, right? He's just God mode 3000. 10 out of 10. Fucking love this thing.
I think it's one of those films where I came out and my brother was like, "What's your first thought?" And I was like, "First thought was simple. I'm pleased they didn't cop out and make Asgard win in the end." Because how many films have you watched where it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and in the last 10 minutes of the film, somehow the good guys just get it all together and win anyway. How many films have you watched like that and it didn't happen? And that was the best thing that. If that had happened, the film would have been a 7.
It's the same thing with Doctor Strange. It's like a new ending. He outsmarts Dormammu.
Yes, exactly. Outsmarted, and Thor outsmarts Hela by releasing Surtur. Yeah, or
it was, and the end. The last. I'm sure they possibly put a few different possible endings together for 4, but I can't imagine they didn't pick the best one. They could have copped out, and they didn't, and that's just the best choice they could have made. I think it's fantastic film. I think I've watched that. I mean, it only came out in what 2017, 2 years ago. Probably watched it 8 times or something.
Yeah. What were you saying, Spoon?
What?
You were finishing a sentence, but you didn't. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, just about the generic endings. I turned off Aquaman before the 3rd act because I knew how it would end.
Yeah.
I didn't have to watch.
The only reason I've watched it
I
because
haven't
at
seen
cinema.
it.
But it left. It was so bad.
But we've all done that with movies. We just know how it's gonna end. Thor Ragnarok, you don't. No, it's a great movie. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Then the Black Panther. I wanna start this one by saying I think this movie is so overrated, and I still think it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong.
Too many black guys.
What the fuck's sake? You're just saying that you're only saying that to rile shit up, and you're not even present on social media. You don't even gain anything. You make me look a bit. What people does he hang around with?
Developed society that they have there has to be more white guys there.
Spoon.
What can you do with him?
Spoon.
That's
most dude. Now I can't put this on YouTube. I can't put it. No, I'll put this on YouTube anyways. I know you're not a racist.
Disclaimer:
and we don't mean it that way.
He's not
joking.
actually meaning that to some extent.
No, he's just doing this to be a dick to me, his friend, because reasons, and he's just being.
It's
just having fun.
No, I agree with you that it's overhyped. I still think it's a great film.
Yes.
But it was talked about like it was like some renaissance and the film of the century, and it's not that, but it's still a great film.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
People overhype. I get, and we
it
all
suffers
understand
from over-expectation.
Yeah, and we all understand. Like
They
everyone
killed off the best villain.
Did you think Killmonger was the best villain? Really?
He was not the best villain, but they did kill him
Thanos
off.
is better than Killmonger.
What's he? No. The white guy.
Oh, Claw.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think he's the best villain? But you like the actor, Cedric is what he's called?
No, he's better than Killmonger. Not in the...
Oh, you mean like in this arc, out of the two, they killed off the better of the two. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yes, me too.
Andy Filonakis or whatever his name is.
Yeah, because then it's more.
Fuck off.
Here's the thing. When you make it about a fight about the throne, we can't relate as much. But if you make it about a crazy dude with a thing that has a history of being like he has been gnarly in Civil War as well, and he's still dealt with Ultron. You can make him more interesting, I think, in the plot, make it more relatable than a we're fighting who is gonna be king of this thing. Sort of.
Yeah, I really like the culture and the society that they showed in Wakanda. I think Wakanda was a massive success. I mean, even though it's a bit weird to get your head around this nation managing to hide its kind of technological advancement to everyone else, that seems a little implausible.
Do you know the Eternals are in here, right?
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It seems it was slightly implausible that nobody's flown into that in all of these years or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
I don't think they have planes in
everybody
Africa.
Who has
Africa is pretty big though, and it's not sure that there's developed countries nearby Wakanda that has a lot of air traffic. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think Wakanda was a massive success. I think the whole. But I agree that the only thing that I would say I disliked about it is I thought the choice of the antagonist was weird. Yes. I didn't really buy into this bastard child that had been discarded and came back with some little tattoo under his lip and all of a sudden can challenge the king. That part seemed odd to me. I think the actor played a good role.
Yes, he did a great job. What's his face? He did a great
job, but it's not a criticism of
Michael
him.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan, Flame On, the guy from the shitty Fantastic Four.
I could buy into the actor entirely.
Yeah.
It's just instead of him being the cousin of the guy, I'd have preferred him to have been some guy that was already in Wakanda his whole life who just decided for some reason he didn't agree with something and was an anarchist or something.
Yeah.
Whatever the storyline is, I couldn't quite get into this bastard child scenario, as I call it. It's just, I don't know.
No,
it just didn't seem believable. It seemed less believable than a state managing to hide itself. And that's my only real issue with it.
He seemed less believable than a state that managed to hide itself. Yeah, I agree though. But I completely agree. And also, I feel like the emotional. He played it well, like the Jordan guy, don't get me wrong, but the character was written to be very strongly emotional about this whole thing, and it felt like, I don't know, it felt like he was having it didn't feel believable that he would go to this extent to kill all these people to become the perfect murder machine. Like, after killing a guy or two, you would probably go like, it's a lot of, like, killing a person is probably a lot of work, right? You know what I mean? And especially if you do it with a knife, it's probably a hassle. Like, I've wrestled guys and I've, grappled guys, and it sucks, right? And it's draining to the body, and killing people with your hands is just annoying, I would guess. So I would give up after a couple and go like, nah, you can have it. I'm not gonna. But then we go Infinity War, 10 out of 10. If you give anything less,
kidding. The Black Panther, I'd say probably an 8.
Oh yeah, we didn't do that part. Yeah, 8. Spoon.
Too many black guys.
Too many black guys out of 10.
What can you do?
Well, they killed the white guy. The white guy should have.
That's
movie.
why
Martin Freeman survived. Martin Freeman survived. The Shield, the guy, sorry.
That's why he's got a problem when he killed off the best villain. It's not because he was the best villain. It's because he was white and he wanted him to survive in this all black film. That's his issue.
Spoon has seen too many Hollywood movies. He knows that the black guy always dies, so he's just confused. He's like, there were two bad guys. One was supposed to die. It's not the black one. I don't understand it.
They're both the bad guy. They're both black. Kill them. He just wanted a volcano to go off and them all to die or something.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, yeah. Okay, we survived that without too much problem. It's Infinity War.
My only slight gripe with Avengers Infinity War is it needed to be half an hour, 45 minutes longer to flesh out a couple of areas, but overall an absolute quality film.
Yeah, like the connection with Gamora is my only real pet peeve. Like it didn't feel plausible that he loved Gamora enough to throw her into the pit to gain the Soul Stone as a sacrifice. Like I don't believe that Thanos loved Gamora. Did you?
No. From everything you've heard up until that point, he seemed like his daughters were a tool he could use rather than something he loved.
Yeah.
But I think like the final kind of 45 minutes of the film needed to be an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half or something. It was just rushed a little too much because to fit it into the time slot they gave the film. And I think we've all sat through 4-hour Lord of the Rings films or something. I think they could have just made it a bit longer rather than keeping it to that set time limit.
I think it's a very hard thing to pull off. That like the main villain of the franchise is gonna come down and fight all these heroes. It's kind of hard to like.
Yeah, and I think
good but they did it.
Yeah,
they did it. No, for sure. The last 30
sure.
minutes of the action scene, it's just there were certain parts to flesh out the kind of the storyline of between where he throws Gamora into the pit and where the action starts at the end. That part needed a bit more flesh, in my opinion. But other than that, it was a quality film. I'd give it. I wouldn't go as far as giving it the Guardians of the Galaxy perfect 10, but it'd get a 9.5.
Yeah, I know. I love it so much. I love it so much. There's a couple of things like Gamora. Spoon's favorite character, Red Skull, is back though.
Yeah.
But like
Jeff Goldblum is my favorite character.
Jeff Goldblum. What's he called?
Jeff Goldblum.
Grandmaster. The Grandmaster.
Jeff Goldblum. Wherever he is.
Yeah, he is Jeff Goldblum.
The Fly, Jurassic Park.
The Red Skull appearance in Avengers Infinity War gives me these vibes about like the red. What's this called? Red Onslaught. Hulk. No, Red Onslaught. There's like one of my favorite, like this
Crimson Dynamo.
If any Marvel fan finds this footage online and watches through to this point when we get here, and I'm about to bring this like subject up, I'm gonna lose them all. If it's a Marvel fan, I'm gonna lose them now, and I might lose whatever. But there's a crossover event called Onslaught that I fucking love. I fucking love that crossover event. Onslaught, it's, to make a long story short, it's X-Men related, and he absorbs powers of other mutants, becomes super powerful, and in order to defeat them, it ends with spoiler. It ends with all the non-mutant heroes has to like jump into this blob of energy and to like absorb it in order for the mutant heroes to blow them up. So basically Iron Man, the Hulk, everyone like that doesn't have a mutant power charges this blob, like everyone from the Marvel universe, and all the mutants blow it up into smithereens, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like a great ending, like the story, and like I remember reading it the first time. I'm like 15 at the time or something, and I'm literally crying, like tears coming out of my eyes, and I can still get quite emotional when I read like the end of that storyline, because like for whatever reason it just connects with me really hard. And years later, Red Skull gets connected to the remaining dust of this onslaught being and creates a plot around this like red onslaught thing taking over and blah blah blah. So when I'm watching Infinity War, after I saw that Red Skull version, I couldn't stop thinking about the onslaught story. And now Marvel owns the X-Men franchise, and I'm praying that the next like big bad instead of Thanos could potentially be Onslaught, because I would fucking lose my shit if that's the case. Okay, that's the rant I wanted in there. Sorry. Sorry.
I've never watched it myself, so I don't know.
With so powerful villains is that it's really hard to make movies where the villain is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because
you can still be defeated.
Yeah, like the Dormammu ending. He's super powerful, but you have to like think to make a good ending.
Yeah.
Like
however they finished this. What did we say? Avengers Infinity War, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
I gave it a 9.5. You said perfect 10 at the start.
Yeah, fuck.
They pulled it off out of 10.
As I said, the only reason I'm giving them a minus 0.5 on that is because I think the film just needed to be that little bit longer and fleshed out in a couple of areas. But other than that, it was a quality film. Absolutely quality film. Where like Guardians of the Galaxy, you gave a perfect 10 to. You said you got anything to say about it, like negative or not? No. Quality. It's like, I just came out of the film going, that was perfection.
Yeah. And then finally, for me at least, because I haven't seen Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I give it the same out of 10 that the first Ant-Man got out of 10.
I can't remember.
Whatever the thing is.
I don't think it's worth talking about too much. I think I enjoyed it slightly more than the first Ant-Man. Maybe.
I like this one a little bit more. It's a little bit more polished. They look a little bit cooler. Like there's a little bit more funny ways of using the thing.
And they find Catwoman at the end.
They find Catwoman stuck in some kind of energy field somewhere inside small things.
I like the Ant-Man 1. The first half of the film, it just actually got a bit boring towards the middle part before it kind of really kicked off the actions part of it, and I didn't really get that in Ant-Man and the Wasp. The story part of it was a bit more interesting than the story part of Ant-Man 1, and the action was about the same. I think overall I'd probably say we gave Ant-Man a 4.5. I'd probably give this a 5 or a 5.5.
Yeah,
it's still an average. It's still an average film.
The little wormhole to go into here, though, no pun intended, is you've seen the Avengers trailer, right? The latest one with the white armor. The white armor is a quantum armor, right? And basically the speculations are they go through a quantum realm to manipulate timelines somehow. But the Russo, like they've said, like, guys, don't even trust our promotion material. We're gonna CGI the trailers to look to something that's not in the thing, most likely. Like they've been hopefully very good at hiding what everything is about, right? But they've pulled it off before, so I hope they do it well. Like time travel movies can be made well. Did you guys see Captain Marvel?
Nope.
I have, yeah.
No.
I'm not going to say anything about the storyline of it because I'm not going to spoil anything for all of you who haven't seen it. All I'm going to say is my score, which is, considering we gave Spider-Man and Black Panther, they've both got 8 out of 10s. I would say Captain Marvel, I enjoyed it more than either of them.
Oh, really?
Like, I didn't come out of Captain Marvel kind of with this whole thing to do with, I would have changed this with the antagonist, I'd have done this with that. I came out of that just going, that was fucking awesome. I really enjoyed that film, and I am probably going to see it again next week at the cinema, and I very rarely pay to watch something twice at a cinema because it's so expensive.
I've heard really, really great things as well, and also that they pulled off a cat well. Let's not
the
say
cat
more.
thing's amazing.
Let's not say
the
more.
The whole storyline. I'd struggle to give it lower than a 9.
Yeah. And then we
I'd
have
probably say it's on the par
Endgame.
with like the original Avengers, the battle one with the New York battle, which you gave a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed, and Doctor Strange was a 9 out of 10. I'd put it in that ballpark. I think it was a really quality film.
Oh, that's cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna see it soon as well. I got the confirmation from Jeppe Boy, Mishmak and Jeppe Ågren and the guys are gonna go
no one flooding to
see Endgame on release date. But that makes it. That's what did you say?
You need to click on the link that safe it in
Don't watch it on stream. Don't watch it on stream.
What the fuck, say?
It's not super racist. Don't worry.
I was gonna round this off and be like, oh, thanks guys.
No, you can watch it
on
after.
YouTube, blah, blah.
You can watch it after you've done that part if you want.
But I just want to point out that Seth listens only to hip hop to explain all this. So
I haven't listened to hip hop like in 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, really.
But the only thing I'll say about Captain Marvel is I think they portrayed the character well. They portrayed his powers well. It was a really good film, really good storyline. It gripped me, and you need to go and watch it. It got better as the film went on as well. You left the film just like, my brother's first comment was,
No.
Why do we even have to wait a month for the next Avengers film? I just want to go straight in and watch it instantly. You left you wanting more and more and more. You didn't want the film to end, and that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. That sounds really cool. But yeah, looking forward to Endgame, looking forward to Captain Marvel. That was great. We should drop some socials at the end. So we can start with Cupe. Cupe, where do people find you online so they can check you out?
Fuck off.
They preferably don't. Wait. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I'll be around on Grump Screen, but I'm semi-retired online, so don't worry.
That's good. But the website to the project, though, we should drop that, which is www.ccllnewark.org.uk. We do charity work for supporting kids in Belarus and expanding that to more countries. And we are working with other charities that support other countries as well. But yeah, we're getting loads of projects going over the next 5 years in child education. It's a lot of fun. So if that's something you think is cool, go support them. Full disclosure, I get nothing for this except that I get to see that guy in red shirt there smile next time I see him in real life, which is cool.
he says that, but I don't smile.
Is that Cupe?
That is Cupe.
Yeah,
that is Cupe.
I can't see it on my...
And Spoon, where do people follow you on social media? Where can they support you?
Fatforfun.net.
Just so you know, when you go to faptofun.net, the picture you first see is him. I really hope when you go there, there's some black chap because that pisses him off so much.
Okay, now take care. Peace now. Bye. Good.